At first, when I walked into a room and I was being told that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I thought it was a practical joke. I thought no one had looked at my GPA, no one knew my struggles in school, no one knew I was a kid from special ed that got through college with C's, and I worked hard to do that. And then after, it was just very humbling. Almost a sense of embarrassment. I don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame is the way I feel. I get to work with people that I think are Hall of Famers. Me, I'm just the big bald guy.
Tom's heart also is reflective in the Dream Center. Something that he was, again, instrumental in making happen. And Tom's there early in the morning, every morning, making snack bags, right? He's there making sure that when people come in under the influence, he does the right thing for these kids, not only for them, but for the community at large. He's there when these kids need someone to walk them down the aisle. He's there when somebody needs just a boost to help their self-esteem to move in a new direction. But I bet he has no idea collectively how many people that the Dream Center and what he has done in his leadership capacity in the community, the impact. And I believe that that's why we have a CSUB Hall of Fame. That is exactly the kind of person that we'd like to have in here. Somebody who has had a dramatic impact in the community, and somebody who's so humble, who doesn't even want the award. In fact, he's probably still mad at Steve Sanders and myself for co-nominating for the award. But he's exactly the person who deserves this award.
That he probably doesn't realize how big of an impact that he is in people's lives. He might just, I'm doing something good because I think, it's the right thing to do, but he's really honestly making an impact in people's lives, and he's getting recognized for it, and I'm happy for him, honestly.
The work that Tom does with these kids, I've seen him take them when they're under the influence. It doesn't matter. He lets them come in and is very protective. And I think some of those kids we know have changed their behavior, and when they became adults, we haven't had to deal with them. That's a huge impact in our community when you're able to do that. And I can promise you that Tom Corson gets kids that come back to him when they're adults, and they look him in the face, and I know they say, if it weren't for you.
I know Tom from the Dream Center. I've been coming here for almost 4 years now, and I've started slowly building a relationship with him. Just small conversation at first, and then him kind of like being a father figure to me.
Yeah, my time as there was one teacher. She was an adjunct professor, Mrs. Johansson, and she taught a class. I think it was one of my psychology classes, and she realized my writing skills were pretty bad. I couldn't spell for the life of me, and so she encouraged me to use my speaking skills. And it was really that was the beginning of me figuring out ways around some of my barriers. And she really taught me to build on my strengths. I had a lot of professors out there that really encouraged me. They knew that I may have struggled in certain areas, but they allowed me the chance to continue to try. I never had the experience of someone telling me that, maybe college isn't for you. It was really the opposite, that you belong here, and we don't necessarily need to be an A student to make a difference in the community, and I'm proof of that. I've been lucky in my career that through the Network for Children, I get to work with the leadership in the community. And I'm in awe with some of these people's intelligence and their compassion and their commitment to making change for children and families. At another level, though, for me, on a personal level, my parents have always been there for me, for good or ill. And I wasn't the easiest child to raise. And they were the first to argue with the school psychologist not to medicate Tom. We'll work with him. And then also my wife. There are days you come home from this job and you're done. You've lost a kid. And you're reviewing that kid in death review, and you knew somewhere along the way we screwed up. Or the kids you see in here where you feel they've given up. And those days I go home and I say I'm done. And fortunately I got somebody at home that's the biggest cheerleader, was a Cal State cheerleader, to pump me back up and say, they need you, get back in there and help.
But out of this man who's so intimidating and so imposing comes a heart for kids that is made of gold.
Tom's a big teddy bear, and you would think that he's a pushover the way he deals with kids. He is soft-spoken and appears to be a pushover, but he's not. He's a very strong-willed. He has the ability to get your attention. And when he talks, people listen because Tom doesn't always have a lot to say, but when he says something, it's of extreme importance.
I think we're very fortunate in Kern County. The Network for Children has provided a venue for some of our senior policymakers to come together, not only from government agencies, but from the faith-based community and nonprofits, to figure out how we can improve the conditions of children and families in Kern County. I truly believe we've done that. And many of the people that are former Hall of Famers that we know are people that are part of that governing board and part of that change. Kern County is very special in that we do work together. A lot of counties you don't see this. You couldn't have another Dream Center. Many counties work in isolation, in Kern we don't. And I've been very fortunate to serve in a capacity in this community to really advocate for kids. And there's no better job than being a voice for kids that don't have a voice.